Shout out family, man. Shout out, man. It's your boy Triple BLACK, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka three black hearses. It's murder. Anyways, man, I'm having my morning coffee, man. I just wanted to get on here real quick, man. I want to give a shout out to the Black Patriarch. They made a video, and one of my buddies. Shout out to Soul Traveler for discovering it because I would have never saw it because I don't even know what the Black Patriarch is, but I guess it's a new YouTube channel that that does a lot of views and things like that. But they took a segment of my video and they kind of I was talking about being a Haitian son of Haitian immigrants, and they took a little clip and they kind of almost put it in. I mean, they took it out of context, but right behind that video, they started coming up with little clips about how Haitians kind of almost we segment ourselves from Black America, and it was not it was intellectually dishonest. It was disingenuous, but hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do to get views. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not tripping on that, but with this whole ADOS movement and stuff, man. Hey, how's it going, Janet Jones? Hey, appreciate your support, man. Appreciate that. It's Willie Lynch is definitely smiling because, and I had to catch myself because me making videos and things like that, and I was thinking about the whole Willie Lynch theory, and it's like it. You always have these times where you have emotional reaction, and then you emotionally react, and things happen, and well, not things happen, but emotional reaction. Next thing you know, we're at odds with each other. Um, because if you go through YouTube and you see all these different videos, and you can put ADOS or Pan African. The ADOS Pan African people are going at each other. The Caribbean people going at the Black Americans. The Black Americans going after the Nigerians. So on and so forth. And that whole Willie Lynch thing. It's like these crabs in the bucket. Have I been a beacon of unity? No, I haven't. But I mean, it's just a natural response that you have when people when there is a perception out there, and I think people need to if you're going to make a judgment about who I am, you do need to kind of look at the whole picture and look at all my videos and put it in proper context. Um, you know, if you leave my videos feeling that I'm anti-Black American, I apologize for that because that's not what the sentiment is. Uh, the sentiment is much more on a cerebral level. I try to think of multiple. The whole premise of my argument was this ADOS movement. Um, First of all, don't I really didn't even like the name of it. Just call it reparations. Call it reparations. But it's. I mean, all right. Let me use another example. Okay. Let me use another example. Maybe some of you ADOS people can understand where I'm coming from. Let's just say you have a family, right? You got a family, and family member decides, hey, you know what? I don't want to be part of this family no more. You know what? Because I feel like all you other family members are riding my coattail. I don't want to be part of this family no more. Okay. So what are the family members that were around you? How are they supposed to feel? And all of a sudden, you're on the outside talking like, you know what, this family has been riding your coattails. This family, basically, the family hasn't did anything. You've kind of propped the whole family. I'm talking about when I talk about family, I'm talking about all these different groups, all these different groups. You're now you're saying that, you know, basically everybody else ain't shit, but me. But I'm about to get this check, and family members, you better stay out of the damn way. I mean, like just put it in from that perspective, and sometimes I think people are blinded by their own their own thought that they really can't see what the fuck that they're saying to other people. You know, it's like nobody's gonna have an understanding with you if you slap their mother. You know, my mother and my dad, you know, they're both, you know, God rest their souls. They're both, you know, passed away. But, you know, my mom, I was a really hard worker. My dad was a hard worker too. You know, nobody's gonna really have an understanding when you take, you know, you go ahead and slap their mother, and then you're gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm just trying to get mine. No, brother, that's not gonna work. And there's so much misinformation, and plus there's so much misinformation and so much things that you're taking out of the equation. And and this is my conjecture. This is just my conjecture. These people that these entertainers that really have no power. And let's take a step back. These entertainers that you guys are listening to, and I don't want to give them any light, they have no power. They may have maybe 100, I would say maybe 100,000 each strong of people following them. That they right now are speaking for about 40, I mean, was it 41 million people? And they have no political power. A lot of them don't even have, they don't even know how to navigate the landscape of legislation. They don't even know how, these people right here are your voices. And they came at a very cheap price. And please don't tell me these guys were paid, because listen, just the other day, yesterday, right? I look, and this is, and you can see this on my videos the other day. Ann Coulter. I talked to you about Ann Coulter, how you got Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks kind of trying to take movement. I mean, they're trying to take credit for this movement or this whole hashtag ADOS. She has a book called Adios America, How the Left is Turning America into a Third World Country. This book was written in 2015, like 3 years ago. Adios. ADIOS. The same thing that they're talking about is the same talking points that they're talking about. She wrote a book like that. You think that you do you really think that they sat down and thought about this whole movement and this acronym right out of the damn blue? You got to ask yourself that. And the supposed legislation in shout out to Dr. T West. I got a list of Afros Energy. This what's so crazy, the proposal was a repackaged version of something that they've been presenting to to the Congress and things like that for years. This is nothing new. That's what I'm saying. This is nothing new. And and any person that tells me that there's not any parallels to this and the Making America Great Again movement, you got to be crazy. You either got to be deaf, dumb, and blind, or just oblivious to the fact this is what it is. And we, I've never ever said been an anti-reparation thing. I think reparations need to be done, but you got to understand how this country works. This country has been doing the same thing for years. They've made you think you're going to get reparations, man. They made you think they're going to make you know when you're going to get reparations? You're going to get reparations, and this is a God's honest truth, when white people can get reparations. That's when you're going to get reparations. And another thing that made me, the thing was Julian Castro. That really brought my antennas up too. I know I'm all over the place, but Julian Castro, Spanish, Spanish candidate for president. Now you tell me, you got the white supremacists, and right next to them you got the white Spanish supremacists that have a lot more disdain for black people What reparation for white people? What I was talking about. But let me finish this thought. They have a lot more disdain because most of their countries are caste systems. So their way of thinking, from black to whatever, the brown, is accepted in their society. So a lot of them, their parents, their grandparents, and all that, they have that same thought process already. So the fact that he's talking about reparations almost makes me believe that something is up. But anyways, but if you go, if you can go right now to the internet, right, and look up vacation, look up free vacation. There's a whole bunch of free vacations out there, or very cheap vacations out there, right? There's a lot of that stuff right there, and every person that gets that vacation and goes to that resort thinking they're getting a free vacation, there's no strings attached to it, and then all of a sudden they have to go into this room and spend the whole day listening to a presentation. I mean, that's how easy it is. That's how easy it is to get a whole bunch of people to to commit to something. I mean, to commit to something. And then, judging by the comments that you get when you put a hashtag ADOS and it's not, following that movement to the T, you see the negative commentary that you get to it. But what I'm saying is this has happened this happens all the freaking time. It happens all the freaking time throughout history. You got the HBCUs, you got the all these type of things, and if you look at them now, and you look at who started it, then you realize that it was a big trick. Um, no, what I was talking about Janet Jones was what reparation for white people, but you're going to have a situation just like you had a $5 Indian situation, and for you ADOS people, this is not me trying to torch your movement, you know, discourage your movement or anything like that. Is you're going to have situations where they're going. Willie Lynch doesn't apply to Africans. Um, I think that I mean I think that's how it was constructed because of tribalism, and I didn't really understand what tribalism is, and now I'm getting a real understanding of tribalism. Is you have to keep separating people within a diaspora. Light skin versus dark skin, Indian. I mean, you know, light skin versus dark skin, Caribbean versus African, Black American versus Haitian. That is what I'm talking about. Is you just keep them at odds with each other and they won't go nowhere. You know, you just keep them at odds with each other, they won't go nowhere. So what is I mean, what is the Willie Lynch theory then? If I'm way off and it doesn't apply to Africans, Africans and African Americans are not the same. Okay, if they're not the same, so would you say, how about Haitians, Jamaicans, and African Americans? They're not the same. And who are the most at odds right now? Africans should not be counted with African Americans. We are different. Okay, you are different. Okay, in the context of America, tell me what the differences are. While he's answering that, what I was talking about with the white people reparations were, you got to understand that the criteria for a descendant of slave is very it hasn't been defined yet. But if it's on surface what it is, then a lot of white people that have that might be 1/10 black, or a quarter black or whatever, would qualify for those type of things. And I think of the 41 million people, you may have a, just an even bigger. I mean, in addition to 41 million, you can have probably another 40 million that can try to name the claim. Okay. Africans should not be counted. Willie Lynch has to do with light skin and dark skin. Okay. Light skin and dark skin. Okay. So you got me. You got me. I guess it doesn't apply. There's no crab in the barrel mentality. Someone from Nigeria doesn't have the same lineage or culture or history as an African American. No, no, you stumped me right there. You stumped me right there. There we go. Here we go. Here we go right now. Here we go right now. You know, now everything I like, this guy right here is on my live stream, pretty much trying to discredit everything I'm just saying right now. And you know, credit to him, he is intellectualizing it. You know, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't. It should not. It should matter. I mean, who says that they should not get the benefit? I mean, who says that they should get the benefits of African Americans? I know it's not hard. You're making it hard. Okay, where did I say, hey, you know what, Africans, you need to come and co-op the benefits of African Americans. We're Caribbean people. You need to go ahead and co-op the benefits of African Americans. You're starting a fight that doesn't. I mean, that's not there. What you're trying to trigger me? You're trying to poke me, you know, into to have an emotional reaction. You're just speaking facts, okay? You're speaking facts. They shouldn't do that. They should not. They should not co-op that. No, at all. But what's at the end of the day, when I walk outside, I have a different last name than a lot of my American brethren. How am I going to be treated any different? What advantages do I have over you guys? I can't go to Nigeria and be considered Nigerian. Okay. All right. You'd be considered American, right? So they come over here and they're considered American. So so you're saying that they automatically come over here and be considered American. But that's what's happening. I see what we do to support reparations and fight for each other. It's not a good fight for the oppressor. I believe in unity, but African Americans want to do it their way. It it doesn't. Like I said before. You gotta understand um, how they work. Like this guy just said, most blacks at Harvard are foreign blacks. Somehow, I don't know if it changed or something like that. Maybe the power structure at Harvard is still white, right? It's still white, but you're being critical of me, and you're being critical of Africans for something that they were accepted to by the white man. That, that's the thing. You're being critical of me. Okay, tell me how you get a person from the third world country that's living less than $1 a day that gets an opportunity to change the complexity of probably generations of his family to be like, hey, you know what? Uh, no, no, No white man, I'm not going to go into this institution and and possibly from a human nature standpoint. No white man, I'm not going. I don't want this opportunity that even white people want, Chinese people want. I don't want this opportunity. I don't want this opportunity. So even though I excelled in high school and I got a score on the SAT, that qualified for me. You know what? Because I'm not deserving. You know, you know what? We're gonna take ourselves out of that. And we're just going to let the black people fend for themselves in terms of getting into to the Harvard institution. If that's what you want, go ahead. Okay, we'll have that. I guess what problem is that going to solve, right there? So the thing is the I guess in the application, and I'm trying to be real as possible with this. You're saying in the the Harvard acceptance right there. There's a whole bunch of criteria. The what you're saying is it needs to change. That the Africans are getting affirmative action, or they're getting a prop up. Are usually come here, usually elite. Nice try though. Okay, they are elite. They're like friends. I mean, they're the sons of oil barons and things like that. Okay, then then from a African American standpoint, let's look at that. Is how do you change the white power structure to let more of African Americans into those type of institutions? Let's have a constructive conversation. None of this, back and forth. I don't have all the answers. I'm not right about everything like that. But if that is what your argument is how do you make the change? If they are getting scholarships for African American, that is wrong. Okay, so the definition of African American scholarships or African that's a start. The difference. I mean, the definition of African American needs to to be changed. Okay, we'll change that. But brother, I'm not trying to argue with you. And I study public administration. I study public administration, and the some of the reason that happens, and this is not a disparaging remark or anything like that to African Americans. It's like you have budgeting. You have budgeting for colleges. You have budgeting for everything, and next year's budget is always projected on previous year's budgets, right? As a school administrator, if I have like African American scholarship, right? Let's just use round numbers. It's $1 million, and I need to give out those scholarships. I look at the pool. If the pool is not big enough for me to give up all those funds with enough qualified candidates, let's just say for that year, um, I can only find enough like $500,000 worth of qualified candidates. I'm not missing the point. I'm no no. I let you go ahead. You listen to. I'm trying to be logical of why this happens, right? Now, as a school administrator, I know, hey, I have to be able to fill this with another $500,000, to be able to, not lose the budget, but at least keep the budget. If I can find more people that I can put in this pool, maybe I can get more. So, what am I going to do as administrator? Anyone that could qualify for this, I'm going to be able to put them in the pool so I don't have to lose that budget, because budgets are, and I'm just using it in an example. So being an individual, when it suits you, but also want to be part of the group. I don't want to be part of no group. It's and please just take a chance to go listen to my videos, man. What the arguments were. Um, it's like whatever, man. It don't even matter, man. Should not be able to come over and get scholarship designed for African Americans if they're not doing that, fine. But I don't know. But you and I know that's not the case. The point that I was trying to make was is you are attacking them for being accepted into a white power structure. They're going into a white power structure. You're saying like your beef is with them, but your beef is not with the power structure. Your beef is with them, but not with the power structure. And that is the thinking that I was trying to and maybe I'm not a good enough communicator to get that across. But you don't see a problem with that. You don't see a problem with that. So you're having like people lead you into like they're sending you into a burning building and you can't really see that. That's the thing. Is like these entertainer leader people are sending you into a burning building. They're sending you into a burning building. They're sending you on a mission that from a logical standpoint doesn't make any sense. Just like I made in my own video, is like you are asking a government that has a history of oppression, a history of colonialism, of history of mistreating people, a history of imperialism that is ingrained into their nature, and you have assimilate now you're trying to assimilate with them and and think that you're getting some type of reward for it. It does matter contrary to what you say, so that's the reason that you make so many videos about ADOS subject. Okay. All right. Nah, I just made videos of because it's a good hashtag. It gets a lot of people listening. That's that's basically what it is. What I was making videos for. You know what? Actually, I am probably stealing some of y'all reparations right now. I'm stealing. They're stealing. Yeah. But it really doesn't. I mean, whatever the fix is already in, man. The fix is already in, and the fix is already in. It no matter what I say, no matter what logic I try to use with it, it does on both sides. No matter what type of logic you guys use or I use, the fix is already in. I think some type of reparations will happen, but just like all through America, you know what the reparations is. It's really nothing. I mean, it's a timeshare. I mean, you're gonna get stuck with a damn timeshare. I'm just using the sales concept because it's a bait and switch. If you look at the people that are leading this movement, for instance, Yvette Carnell, about a week ago, you guys were her ideology. I think she's a lesbian. She's a lesbian, and her ideology conflicted to a lot of Pan Africanists, patriarch. I mean, like that type of stuff. They blame the LGBT community for co-opting black movements or whatever, and then she's the face of it. And also you have Antonio Moore, who is a lawyer, and I thought also he works for the DEA office for California, one of the worst criminal justice systems in America. if not the worst criminal justice system in America. And we were just screaming about him, his type of people, and how they've made the criminal justice system against Black Americans, and he's the face of it. And then you have Tariq Nasheed, another face of it, has made um, you know, numerous videos, Hidden Colors, 1804, about the fact that you're not slaves, you're more than slaves, you're melanated, you're all this and you're all that. And now they're turning around and they have this kind of this movement on its face that, and I don't know why a lot of people can't see that, that's anti-immigrant. To me, it's anti-immigrant because I'm an immigrant. I can listen to the dog whistles, and I mean, fortunately, I'm not an immigrant. I mean, my parents were immigrants. I was born here, but I can listen to the dog whistles. I've been listening to the dog whistles from Donald Trump um, for forever. You know, where are your people from? My people are from Haiti. My people are from Haiti, and the Haitian people have been enslaved, since 15, was it 1519? 1519. They've been enslaved since 1519. They've been in the America, which a French territory, which is since 1790. 17. I don't know what the exact date, but there's you guys understand that um, part of America was in the Empire of France. That's what the Louisiana Purchase happened. But it doesn't even. I mean, that goes on deaf ears because you have reparations and you something that was hinted and promised to you, and part of the to be able to get that stuff, you have to be able to separate yourself. That's probably the criteria. I understand that. My wife, she can trace her lineage back, to South Carolina. Her she was descendants of slaves, and we have a son together. So, uh, I mean, I have every incentive to see that, but uh, I just have a problem with the misinformation that's been conveyed in about my people in particular. Um, and at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. White men terms for black immigrants. Where are people from? Are they getting in? They are getting into the white power structure off the backs of African Americans. That's a problem. Yeah. Okay, that is a problem. Nah, the fix in black Americans are just waking up. No, the fix is in. What I'm saying is the entertainment fraction of the black American culture. You know, and you know what's funny about it is a lot of these figures are very insignificant when it comes to the real power structure. They have no power at all. They have some entertainment dollars that they can get. They can get you riled up. Get you know three or $4,000 a night in super chats, and everything is all good. That's thing. And if you are a consumer already of their 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 stuff, it's a very easy sell. Uh, it's a very easy sell if you look at it that, and they always say the loudest voices are used in a room are usually the weakest. They're usually the damn weakest, and and the electorate is so small. I mean, the difference between the two brothers, the Democrat and the Republican, are so small, and different elections can go either way if you can get that the fraction of people in the middle, in the middle, that usually sit on their hands, don't really know about politics. You can get them because if you can sway their mind, and you got to look at the tribes. I mean, these entertainers have these little tribes that can make the difference, important difference in different districts, in different, even on a national scale, they can make a difference. And if they're able to change your thinking and not let you be rational, not let you have not even be rational, because you know sometimes you guys are right on a lot of these points you're making, but not seeing the bigger picture, not seeing the trick, it's a very easy sell. It's a very easy sell, you know. And a lot of people right now are, you know, because of previous videos that I've made, they're going to take a hard line on me. They're going to take a hard line on me. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're going to find a hole in everything I say and try to prove me wrong on it. But the real, I mean, just like they say, whatever is in the dark will come to light. And I believe that. I believe in that whole concept. Whatever is in the dark will come to light. You know, that is the thing. I'm an American citizen and proud to say that I'm Jamaican. Can I compete for Haitian national team? Um, you spend so much time advocating for reparations for Haitian and the French, and um, let me read some of these comments. There are too many immigrants in this country for everyone to be classified as African American. You know, it. Listen, Ann Coulter said it. Ann Coulter is a white. You know, she's a white woman. You know, and she validates that. So therefore, it must be true. You know, that's what it is right there. That's what it is right there. You know, I can't compete with that. I really can't compete with that. If American gave gold it stole from Haiti to African American and said, "You are all black," would you be okay with that? Immigrants spew ADO's numbers. Okay. Um. Okay. So, okay, you got me. Okay with what? Okay with what? Find the thing where I didn't say you guys needed reparations, man. That's all you got to do. You know, there's nuance to everything. If you want to continue to think just on the surface level, think on the surface level, man. That's not going. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Just think on the surface level. If you can't think of nuance in nuanced ways, that's your problem, man. That's your problem. Like I said, you can walk and chew at the same time. You know, it. You don't have to be anti-immigrant and be ADOS. You know, mutually, they're mutually exclusive, I guess. Is that a term that I learned in you know, that free education that I got? I guess I went off the backs of blacks to get that education. Um, but it's a very easy, man. From ADOS history, you should you have to pay in some way also. Mm, I was born in the states, and this is just the start. This is just the start of this right here. You know, this is there's a lot of hidden things a lot of people don't see. If eventually this is going to churn, it's going to churn against you. It's going to churn against you. People are following, you know, this ADOS thing, but it's gonna churn against you somehow, some way. It's gonna churn, and there's going to be a whole bunch of things that that you're gonna be complaining about. You're gonna be complaining about. I'll give you an example. You know, let's just have this pie in the sky thing. All right, you know, you guys get this uh, these reparations, and you get these reparations, and they look at what the qualifiers are. Next thing you know, well, if you have a class D, a third degree misdemeanor, you don't qualify. Or you have a felony, you don't qualify. There and then all of a sudden That 41 million goes into half of it. I mean, they have that. Next thing you know, oh, if you haven't paid child support, or if you haven't been, if you file your tax returns in, X amount of years, you don't qualify. Then that's going to take a whole bunch of other people. I know. What I'm saying is once they find a way to very few people are going to qualify for it, and most of the people that qualify, I mean, this has happened all throughout history, bro. This happened all throughout history, and you know, and then the brown paper bag test comes out. The people you guys complain about, the boule and those type of people. And like, you guys, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even, like, HBCU that I was talking about. The white dude created the HBCU, right, exclusively for black people, but we ended up finding out years it was actually created for their children, like, their illegitimate offspring. That was the reason that was that. But the whole premise of it was, and then all of a sudden, all of the heads of HBCUs, some of them, I don't even know how they qualify for black, but it is, we seek protective. Yeah, you this pie. That's the thing, that you're, these entertainer people that are not well versed in politics. They won't get in those conversations with you for a damn reason, because they're not in it for that particular thing. They're in for super chats. You buy their lectures, you buy all that stuff. That's what I'm telling you is like, there's, once you really 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 find out that what it's going to be, like you said, protected class, to be a protected class. So you're asking the oppressor that has committed all these crimes to you to put you in their witness protection program. And you think that you're going to be free. Oh, me and my wife are. That's why I'm comfortable doing that. I mean, me and my wife, we disagree. We disagree. But I love her, just like I love all black people. Um, we disagree. We disagree. That's just what it is. It's a disagreement. You know, it's a disagreement. She even says it to me all the time that, Haitians, we were chilling on the island. We were chilling on the island, while you guys were getting your heads beat in. you know, I'm staying away from it so we don't be there. I, I didn't even, but I even said it from the jump. I was going to stay away from ADOS. It's just like, I just don't like the slander that I feel like they're doing to the people, to our people, and they're leaning on three talking points to slander, like, everything that my family has done, and I don't know. I just don't. I mean, it doesn't sit well with me. I'm never going to be okay with it. Whatever, man. That is correct response. I appreciate that. I don't have a choice as who I am. I have to deal with. But you what I was saying is some of the white supremacists that I think that are controlling this. You're going to start to get into conversations. I hate the slander too, but you're going to start to get into conversation of the 14th Amendment. You're going to start to get into conversation as birthright citizenship. They want to have those conversations, because if they look at like the Haitians and the Africans and things like that, and ethnic cleansing is right around the corner. It happens in every country. It happens in Dominican Republic. It happened, it's happening everywhere. But they're going to start to get into those conversations. Uh, they're going to start to get into those conversations, and and it's going to, and the thing is this train is going to turn around back on you. it's going to turn around back on you because uh, as African people within this American, I mean, in this American landscape, we're all interconnected. When they start talking about birthright citizenship, should you have birthright citizenship? If you were born here, because they look at us like I said, like myself, I'm an anchor baby because I was born here and my parents are from Haiti. What's going to happen when your cousin or your sister who is married to an African guy or a Haitian guy, they start calling their kids anchor babies? What are you going to do about that? I mean, it's like I said, the train will turn around on you. Be careful um, what you hope for, and it's not. It's like somebody just said you're always looking at the. It's reality. It's reality. I'm a true hater. What am I hating about? I mean, what? So is there not a reality? The Boule ran Haiti into the ground. Well, the Boule ran Black America into the ground. Yeah, and you know what? And you talk about look at Duvalier. Duvalier was a product of your slave master. It was a product of your master. United States created him. Dispute that. Dispute that right there. Did United States create Duvalier? Didn't United States in 1915 to like 1939 occupy Haiti? Like no, that is your government right there that went into Haiti. My black for some reason I think I got like some just troll bots. Man, but I really appreciate that, man. Hit the like buttons, man. I mean, it can't be all troll bots in here from ADOS that's killing me and calling me a hater and all those type of things. One of the things I gotta also, and I'm gonna make a video about this, with Soul Traveler, is like I said, I think the fix is already in. The fix is already in, and I'm just trying. I just want to tell, like my Caribbean folks, check on your people. Make sure you guys, have your citizenships and your visas and all those types of, in order. Make sure that you have, the proper things. Cause you have a lot of older Haitians and things like that. Make sure, they have the life insurance. They have, proper all those proper financial things in order because just like as you can see right here, man, we have ICE agents and those type of people that would love, to make a phone call and to get your relatives or whoever out. I mean, that's just what it is. And you got to look at, the different pockets you got Miami, you got Rhode Island, you got New York, and then you have these very strong I mean, you have very strong, uh, big strongholds of different Caribbean communities. And if you look at the last election, the fact that you had a lot of mayorships and you had a lot of districts um, that were, won by, people with different sounding last names, the the white power structure are very afraid of that because the political power of a lot of these immigrants groups, like for instance Minnesota, it changes the whole complexity of their elections. Like Florida, for instance, like the Haitian community has the power to change the complexity of an election. Now, the more that you can suppress their votes, and voter suppression is a black thing, but now they have to be more refined on the voter suppression because, like for instance, the Democrats pretty much have a hold of Black America. and they're trying, and Republicans are trying to get a piece of that. And I think the ADOS is a great way of getting a piece of that voting block, because if you can change even 10% of that voting block to say, Democrat to Trump, and I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm not a Hillary supporter or whatever, but just look at it from raw numbers perspective. If you can get that voting block to change in like these battleground states, it changes the complexity of the election. It changes the complexity of the election, of any election. And just don't look at like in New York. New York, there was even I think the whole town, or New Jersey, there was a mayorship, or not mayorship, but like a whole town that's pretty much Haitian run, and that right there is a very scary concept. It's a very scary concept, and being able to cut into that is going to be big for 2020. And something like this type of movement that causes a lot of dissension within the community is very important. I mean, if you can make any type of headway, like for instance, when you had last year, you had you had Tariq Nasheed with this whole campaign of not hold your, I mean, sit on your hands, don't vote, no vote campaign, and you had a lot of people following that no vote campaign, and which was, from a national perspective, I think that was a genius idea. I would think that was that, but it really hurt the local elections. I mean, those things have bigger impact on the people. But switching back, just like Haitian folks, Caribbean folks, the fix is in, man. I know a lot of you guys have businesses. You have a lot of resources. You have a lot of property and things like that. They're coming to get it, and don't make it easy. Just don't make it easy. Re-elect Trump, and the media put the. No, I didn't say that. I'm just telling that the Haitian people and the Caribbean people to protect themselves, because this is what this is what this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do. I mean, this is what they do. I'm not I'm past this surface level thing, because if I have a surface level conversation with you, all you're gonna do is tell me to hold my own nuts and stop piggybacking and have. I mean, I'm over that. I mean, that's like you know uh, 2 weeks old. If right now we can't really have a productive conversation of what's really going, and I can't really tell you, like for instance, when I say that the two leaders that you said came up with this whole concept of ADOS, and me as a person said no they didn't. This whole premise, no they didn't. And I show you Ann Coulter, that wrote a book called Adios America. AD what was it, IOS, Adios America. And in that book she talks about immigration, and she talks about how we're turning America. I mean, the left is turning America into a third world country. I mean, and this is 3 years ago, and people that are part of this movement are using her talking points verbatim. And I say that no, they couldn't have started this meeting. I mean, this stuff, because they've been talking about this a long time ago. And then you come back at me like, oh no, you're piggybacking. Oh, hold your own nuts, and not you know acknowledging that I was right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm acknowledging. But hey, and I don't know if you're for me or not me, but back to I mean, you're right. But they put. I mean, if you want to sell a pair of tennis shoes right now in the country, you put a black face on it. If you want to sell a car, you put a black face on it. So you got to put a black face to be able to sell it. The talking point is immigrants benefit, like immigrants benefits. Let's just think on another level. Like for instance, Ann Coulter talked about black Americans needing civil rights. You know what? It's like reminding a person that you need to breathe. She said that you need civil rights. Like black Americans need civil rights. Pay attention to the words. Duh. I mean, you're human. I mean, to have civil rights, you need to be treated like as a human, and you need to be treated as a human. And what she's also saying that only black Americans deserve those civil rights. If you read between the lines, just think on a whole different level. They're saying, you know what? You guys deserve to be treated like human. But the other people that I guess that's put themselves within your class don't deserve to be treated like a human. Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. I know you guys, you know, what is it? Answer the question, please. What question did he ask? Let me see. Okay. Are you for open borders, sir? Do you think immigration benefits ADOS? Um, Open borders, are you talking about in America? Um, well, no, I guess. I mean, it's really doesn't affect me. The borders have been open. It depends on what colors you are. I mean, the do I think if we're going to have a conversation about illegal immigration, why don't we have a whole conversation about illegal immigration? You're going after my people, the Caribbean people, the Nigerian people, but you haven't said anything about the Canadians that are here illegally, the East European people that are here illegally, people from all over Europe that are here illegally. If we were going to have a whole conversation about that, let's have a whole conversation about that. And what else question that you had? You said, do you think immigration benefits ADOS? Um, no. I mean, that's a very simple answer. I don't think that. I don't. I don't even know where you need to keep right. Arthur Wright is being used to keep Trump in power, and the ADOS leaders never said anything bad about Trump. No, they don't. They don't really say anything bad about Trump. No, of course they don't. It's their that. But you got to understand, the slave master in America, who has been the most loyal person, the most loyal group of people to the slave master throughout the history. Let me ask another question. Who has been with the slave master? Who, the two people in America, I'm talking about the borders of America, have had a relationship, have lived and coexisted and lived with each other for the longest? When you're going to speak out against the illegal. No, listen, we're the easiest target. I mean, other black folks are the easiest targets. I mean, it's the easiest targets ever. I mean, we're close. We're in close proximity to each other. Like they say, when crime, why is black on black crime so high? Because we're in close proximity to each other. You know, we're in so and we, as a Haitian person, we're neighbors with Black Americans. We're neighbors with Jamaicans. So we're close proximity to each other. So it's easy, for to come up with some type of opinion or whatever. When you've never been around white people or whatever, you really don't know anything about it. We make up 14% of the population, and they are terrified of us. Yep. Yeah. So blacks get their marching orders from Ann Coulter. Okay, yeah, they get well. It's there. It's there. Like you just sat there and talked about fact, but You sat there and talked about facts, right? Is there not a book called Adios America? Is her talking points not the same talking points that you from your ADOS is using? Just answer that question. You talk about facts. I'm not making that up. It is what it is. And this was made, like, this book that she did was made over, I think, like 3 years ago. She's made other books, and if you listen to the stuff that she says, it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff repackaged. But she doesn't talk about reparations. She doesn't talk. That's one thing that she doesn't talk about is reparations. And the two leaders of connected reparations to it, and they kind of rebranded it. The proposal that they made, in T West Afro Energy, went over the proposal, and the proposal is nothing but repackaged stuff. It's the same thing. Yes, there is a book, but I can guarantee that most ADO don't read Ant Culture. It, bro, tell me, how did this hashtag just spawn up? This hashtag just spawned up. Yeah, this hashtag just spawned up, and it's close to the title of her book and what she's saying in the book. No, no, absolutely not. They're not unified with. No, they're not unified with thing. No, matter of fact, Dominicans, they they're basically they again, like I said, whatever's in the dark will come to light. If you look at last year, there was some type of ethnic cleansing going on, and the same type of sentiment and rhetoric was actually used in the Dominican Republic to to basically kick out Haitian descendants in whatever. What's your name, sir? Please, no conspiracy. What conspiracy theory that, man, this round and round Robert Owens is ridiculous. I just told you that she made a book, and it's called Adios America, and you have the hashtag ADOS. The similar sentiment and the talking points are in that book. That book was written 3 weeks. I mean, was it 3 years ago? And when Tariq Nasheed went, when Tariq, okay, it doesn't, okay, it doesn't make any sense. I guess we were deaf, dumb, and blind. It's they what do they say? You If you want to keep something from a Negro, you hide it in the book. If you want to, keep if you want to hide something, you hide it in plain sight. Those are real concepts. Those are real concepts, man. I mean, you can play with it, you can deflect, you can tap dance, you can do whatever. It's not going to change a thing. Just like they always say, whatever is in the dark will come to light. Here we go, white man speak again. Okay. All right, you have all the answers, man. Just like Kanye said, you have all the answers, Sway. You have all the answers, Sway. Okay. I just told you where that shit came from, and then and it's right there. You can go look at it, and you can go there and look at it, but you still won't. You still will find a way to discredit me. That's the thing. It doesn't make any sense. You are you are the guy who goes to comedy shows, laughs at the jokes about everyone else, but gets mad when the joke's on you. Um, yeah, that's human nature. Okay, am I a Neanderthal now? I don't think it. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't think that is called being human. If if you hear a funny joke, yeah, you hear a funny joke, you laugh at it, but when the joke is from you, you gonna feel a little bit different. You're gonna feel a little bit different. It Like wherever is in the dark will come to light, and your deflection. You can keep all this stuff, man. It's not gonna change nothing, man. The you can switch the narrative, but the truth is the truth, man. It's gonna come. It's really gonna come, and I wish all you guys the best, man. It I am. I think I am fighting a losing battle. I will. I will. I will admit that. Maybe my entertainment value is not as good as, or I'm not. Maybe I'm just not articulating my point. Because if I don't know, man. I guess if you argue with a fool, you become a fool, and I became a fool. My point exactly. So people talk about this alleged unity in islands, and island shares with inhabitants don't get along. Yeah, you're a symbol of how immigrants will not support, even though we speak the truth. I don't have any choice. I have to support ADOS because my wife, she's Black American. I mean, I support. Uh, no, actually, I don't support ADOS because I don't like the whole term of descendants of slaves, but I support reparations, and I thought that's what the whole thing was about reparations, because money kind of fixes the political landscape, you know, and I'm never going to sell my soul. I'm never going to embrace symbols of the oppression of any people, and slave. I mean, being called slave or slavery, kind of, or what's the other thing that they use is like lineage. Oh yeah, my lineage or whatever. I'll never support that. You whatever. I'm never gonna support that. Period. I mean, and if I'm disagreeing with you, you think that I'm against reparations or your movement. That's it don't matter. I'm not going to change your it don't matter. Erase what truth? What truth are you talking about? What truth are you talking about? But I just gave you some truths, and you glossed over it, and then you made it about something else. And whatever. I wish ADOS the best. I'm good. I am free. I can sleep. It did not shed ADOS blood. The white man did. Yeah, whatever, man. We came from slavery, sir. Um, okay. My my parent. I mean, I guess my ancestors came from slavery too. But whatever, you know. It's like a person that comes from incest, and you're telling them to embrace in the incest, the ancestry. I don't know if is that a word. You don't have to. I mean, there's nothing written on that. I mean, you're a human being. You happen, but I mean you're a product of incest, and do you want to, knowing what you know about incest? Do you want to embrace that? No. I mean, that's not a correct. I mean, what is a correct comparison then? That is not a correct comparison. Oh, that's not a comparison. Laughing out loud. Either you black first or not. I wake up, black skin. Okay, I guess that doesn't mean that I'm black. When have I not been black? You know what's funny is like I used to catch a lot of flack from my African American counterparts, even my wife. They call me like Malcolm X, Kuta Kente, because I was always talking about black issues and white supremacy, and kind of breaking that down. I was all about that. I was really pro-black. I mean, I'm still pro-black. I mean, it doesn't matter. They were. I used to make. I mean, I used to make people uncomfortable. I used to make keep people uncomfortable because I went so hard on just being black and being proud and doing that. Not alone. I mean, even along with that, being Haitian too. That really offended a lot of people. Embracing that whole thing. And I used to always just look at it as black. I mean, matter of fact, my wife was upset at me, because she, because I told, because my dad, cause my dad was like black as whatever, and my mom, she was a little bit on the lighter skin side. She had like, very, Indian looking features and stuff like that. But I always like, no, I'm Haitian, I'm black, I'm African, I'm not that. And I used to always, when our son was born, and I was like, man, I want him to be as black as Shaka Zulu, because I want him to be Haitian and black or whatever. I want him to, when he comes out, I want the world of people to know that he's a black man or whatever. But I guess fast forward 2019, you gotta, unless I'm, doing a coon jig, I guess, for the black community or whatever, uh, I guess it's not black enough. You know what? I'm not going to be led into a burning building. That's just not me. I'm just not going to be led into a burning building. And I'll finish this with we're saying this. I notice that there's not a lot of real black intellectuals supporting this movement. You have entertainers. You might have people that are, that have like, doctorate degrees or whatever, but anybody that's really studied the social sciences or actually talked about, I mean, like historians and things like that are really not, part of this movement. And I wonder why. Because when they have to look at it from not an emotional standpoint, but a purely objective standpoint, and they see all the facts, all the history, and all that stuff, they're going to make you more mad than you're mad at me. You're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be really pissed. You're gonna be really, really, really mad. You're gonna be really mad. You're gonna be kicking up dirt or whatever. You're gonna be kicking up dirt, whatever. Yeah, of course. I'm one of the strongest supporters until they said we were leeches. Absolutely. Uh, they don't see any nuance in there. It's just like the 1980s. The 1980s, where, and I grew up in South Florida. I had to do a lot of fighting myself, even though I was born in the United States, but because uh, my parents were Haitian, I spoke proper English because, because I was, I spoke Creole, but I spoke proper English. And I was ostracized a lot because I spoke too proper. A lot of people thought I was trying to speak white and things like that. But I had to get in a lot of fights and things like that just because I was Haitian. And, there used to be, like on Fridays, like Haitian Fridays, like in Miami, where they used to run and chase and beat up Haitian kids. They just beat, black, same black people beating up Haitian kids, calling them, Haitian body, all the different things. This is not something I made up, and this happened all through, um, 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 this happened all through Florida, and but if you ask a black American about that, I mean, they don't really got anything to say about that shit. They don't got. I mean, if I ask somebody in the room, what about that? It's like if somebody's beating your ass all the time and you want us to assimilate. I mean, how does that happen? How does that happen? They don't really have an answer for that. Other than you guys were leeching off our thing, holding your own nuts, and whatever. They built America. You don't realize that Caribbean people have been coming over here and being assimilated in black culture for centuries, right? How many black intellectuals supported it? No. Thank you for paying the way for us. No, but dog, the first slaves came off the coast of it was the Hispaniola in like 1519. That was long. Dog, there were slaves in the Caribbean long before. There's slaves in the Caribbean long before there was in America. That you know what that's going to be the uncomfortable part, and that's the thing is like, oh you know oh you okay, so Haitians fought in the Revolutionary War. I mean there's numerous documentation. I'm not a historian, so I can't really get into it. We don't care about the slaves in the Caribbean. So you don't think the slaves in the Caribbean ever ended up in America? Hmm. You don't think that ever ended up in America? That's what you're saying. That doesn't have anything to do with slaves in America. I guess when lies stop working, you just make up shit. You just call me a clown. I guess you're a little stuck now. Why I say that's why you say you missed the. Okay, well, what point? So United States was not a British territory. United States wasn't a French territory. The whole South. you, you fucking like you ass clown. You okay? So United States was not a British territory. It was not a French territory. He said I fucking missed the boat. You need to study. No, it's not no. It's not about me studying the Revolutionary War. You dumbass. Like you told me that. Like you was like, oh, you're missing the point. The British. Now don't try to deflect that. Answer the motherfucking. I mean, ugh. Answer the question. Was the United States not a British territory? Don't get into no war talk or no deflection. Was the United States not a French territory? You've been on like some gotcha stuff all day long. Go ahead. No, don't. No, no, you can't. You know, like a coon laugh. You try to laugh it off now. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. You have not. How stupid you sound. No, you. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Answer the damn question. Was the United States not a British territory? Okay, LOL, smiley face. Was the United States not a French territory? You told me to take it up with France. You take me to take it up with Britain. But was the United States not a British territory or a French territory? They have me cussing all the time too, man. Man, but peace and love, family. God, man, you guys got me hot, right? Oh my goodness, man. They got me on a good one, man. I've been drinking this coffee. But anyways, man, let me get out of here and get this damn work day. It was good chopping it up with you guys. I got a couple appointments. Y'all know. Anyways, man. But the ass clown, he's laughing. He keeps laughing and stuff like that. He told me to take it up with the British, and he told me, I mean, maybe I need to go back to school and learn. I mean, I think that's probably what it is. Immigration are made are not made in the hood. They have no problem with ADOS. They can they control no immigration laws. Study Haitian. You keep telling me that the study Haitian history. You keep telling me that, but you won't even answer my question. Go and use that. Go and use that and benefit. Nah, I don't want to anymore because I get ignorance like this. You don't need a crowd. Just stay true to yourself. No, I won't do your work for you. No, you won't. Like it's a simple damn question. Like you just told me that I should take it up with the The Jamaicans should take it up with the British, and the Haitians should take it up with the French. And I'm asking you that United States territory was it not a British? Wasn't it not a British colony? And Jamaica was not a British colony either. Haitians prove that I'm clueless. Okay. Zoe life or no life, man. Shout out to Soul Traveler, man. I'm out of here, man. Thank you so much. I want to give my terminology of father. Was not okay. So what was it then? It wasn't a French territory. What was it then? Before I leave, what was it then? No, I'm not a historian. I don't have a. I have a an MBA and also an MPA. I don't have I'm not a teacher. I'm not a historian profession. With can't stop black immigrants from coming here. Laws are not made in the hood. You're right. They can't stop them. But was once a man and look at him. I don't believe you have an MBA. You don't. Of course you don't. You don't want to stop. Okay, we just jumped from stuff. He's saying he told me that the the French didn't own. I mean, they owned the territory, but it wasn't. I mean, I'm using wrong terminology. Uh, you know, Slavery was around here for what it was since the 1600s. Uh, the French owned Louisiana, Purchase, or Texas, and all those type of places, and there was slavery there. But he's saying that I'm using the wrong terminology, um, and I mean, make sense of it. I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of it. He's trying to tell me that it wasn't. What these guys, what these guys control part. They control part of they. All right, they control part of the United States, and there were slaves there. So if they control part of the United States or control the lands of the United States, and there's slave, production there, and there's a slave economy there, they What? They were leasing them. Okay, it was a lease. It wasn't that. That wasn't a U.S., bruh. It became the U.S. after the purchase. Okay, so after the purchase, all the slaves that were in those areas, um, just they just took them away from that area. So they didn't have any offspring. They didn't have any. They didn't. They. It was over. Like so, those people that were once slaves in those territories weren't descendants of slaves. There wasn't. Typical black immigrant. No, you just got to beef with black immigrants, dog. Did black immigrants take your girlfriend or something like that, man? Is that what it is? All right, man. Peace.